What is up, guys? It's the Sound Alchemist, and I'm here with
Gersh1.
And are we Colombian? Comment down below.
What nationality? Obviously, some type of Latino or Latin X, as the cool kids say.
I was mistaken for Italian and Arab once.
I think you guys have called us gay.
That's a nationality, right?
Yeah.
And welcome back to another For the Greater.
This is a video series where we answer the questions left by you, the viewer. If you have a question for us about Warhammer 40K, about your race, ethnicity, just comment down below. Put question in front of your question because we get to those questions first, though. And that is what Timothy Armstrong did. He asks, his third time asking, what's the difference? What difference did you notice from playing Dungeons and Dragons on the tabletop versus Warhammer 40K tabletop?
Ooh, there's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first and foremost, the huge difference is, one, you are playing a character yourself. You're not moving minis. Well, sometimes you are. But like for the majority of D&D, it's a role-playing game, which is very different than a war game such as 40K.
Now, just for all those that don't know, like, we started first playing 40K and then we transitioned to Dungeons and Dragons. And the big thing that I've noticed is that as a war gamer, there is a need to have miniatures on the tabletop. Yes. If there's no miniatures on the tabletop, it just doesn't feel right. But the more you play Dungeons and Dragons, the more you realize that the tabletop setting and the minis actually do like put boundaries in what you can do instead of just having like the theater of the mind and that kind of stuff. I did notice that like creating set pieces for Dungeons and Dragons is not the same as creating terrain for 40K.
Not at all.
Yeah, like there's more. It's better to have terrain in 40K, whereas in Dungeons and Dragons, you should definitely have terrain, but it does limit you to what you can do. So that's one big takeaway, the big difference that I noticed. It's just what is actually physically on the tabletop is completely different.
Right. It's a lot more creativity and like thinking than 40K, where I feel like that's a lot more like rolling the dice. Yeah, you got to strategize and whatnot, but the dice gods are doing a lot of things for you. Whereas in D&D, it's mostly how you roleplay that kind of dictates the story.
Yeah, and another thing too with Dungeons and Dragons, because you have a dungeon master, there is a sense of there could be conflict because of that. Whereas like war gamers, we're used to having a core rule. So when we started playing Dungeons and Dragons, in my mind, I was like the book is law, and if the DM does anything other than that, I'm gonna see that as cheating. But that's not the case in Dungeons and Dragons. In Dungeons and Dragons, the dungeon master is supposed to just make up stuff, even if it contradicts what's in the book. And I think that took me a while to kind of understand. It became a situation of conflict as a war gamer in a role-playing game.
Yeah, because so often you're like looking to the book for answers. And that's why there's a bunch of books out there and rules changes, FAQs and stuff, because the rules are meant to be followed to the T.
Yeah.
Whereas, like you were saying, D&D, Dungeons and Dragons, it's a lot more, I guess, free form.
Yeah.
Where it's basically you have the dungeon master and he's a person. So there are a lot of instances of like human error or just making up things on the fly.
Yeah.
So it's different.
And another huge thing that really bothered me when I started playing Dungeons and Dragons was fudging dice rolls. You know the DM fudge dice rolls. And I think the downfall to fudging dice rolls is that you don't... Most of the time it's done really poorly, like to the point where like, oh yeah, that was a fake roll. Like, how are you going to hit me when I'm this strong or whatever? And I think you have to get away from that, because as a war gamer, if you ever fudge any dice rolls, like that's the end of the game. You're cheating. Like you shouldn't do that. Whereas like in Dungeons and Dragons, you kind of need to fudge dice rolls sometimes
for the narrative or whatever.
Yeah, you don't want the boss to die like right off the bat. I mean, you could if you want, but yeah, like fudging dice rolls was really hard for me to wrap my head around.
And that's when like the DM really has to have like a poker face or whatever.
Yeah.
Or maybe you play a campaign where everything's out in the open. No DM screen. It's like you see everything that's being rolled.
Yeah. And then also the setup, because I was a dungeon master for a little bit, and I think when you guys would come over to play 40K, it was easy. It's like, okay, I'm just going to put the tables out, put a little bit of scattered terrain, and then get the game going. Whereas, like, if you're the DM and they're coming over to your house, you need to prep. And it's not just something that you could do, like, within an hour. Like, you really need to understand and prep things, and it's hard to keep everybody's attention during the game.
Mm-hmm. Whereas,
like, in 40K, when you're playing, if your opponent is just not paying attention, use that to your advantage and like beat them. Yeah. or like maneuver your army in a certain way to get the upper hand.
Hide units behind terrain or whatever.
But if you are in a role-playing game and then people start dozing off, like, you have to like bring them back, and that's just a pain sometimes. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of people on their phones and yeah.
I attack you with my trap card. Oh yeah. Wait, that's Yu-Gi-Oh.
Which one of the two do you think you enjoy playing the most as of right now?
Yeah. I was going to say 40K, but the thing that really stops me from enjoying 40K to the fullest is just the length of the games.
Yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. It's just funny because sometimes our dungeon or our sessions for D&D would go for like 3-4 hours.
Right, but depending on like the crowd and like how it actually is being run, it can be really fun. Where if you're playing 40K and like you're on turn 4 and like you're just getting demolished, it's like, okay, why am I still playing?
Yeah, I don't think we've ever made it to turn 5.
Yeah, a lot of games we just call it. It's like, all right, you're clearly winning. Like I can't do anything. Like I've already thought of all the points I could possibly get and all the points you can get. Like yeah, there's no point.
Yeah, I also like the combat in Dungeons and Dragons because it's a little bit. I feel like it's a little more competitive, kind of like Hero Clicks, whereas 40K, it is a matter of like what list you bring.
Yeah, that or the dice.
Yeah, or your luck and what you draw. What are they called? Objectives you have to draw.
Like let's say you make an army that's all elite and you're playing capture objectives. Like you could be already like the game's already done for you like before you even start setting up.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean it's interesting. It's very different. But what do you guys think between Dungeons and Dragons and Warhammer 40K? What do you enjoy and why?
Comment down below.
Mm-hmm. This next question is by Viking 1014. He asks, "Do you guys both have armies? If yes, do you guys ever think you'll ever record a match between you two? It seems like seeing a match between you two would be fun to watch." You must be new here, so welcome. Yeah, we do collect armies. He pretty much has every army under the sun.
Yeah.
Although they're still in sprues for the most part.
Some of them are still in boxes, yeah.
But yeah, we do have our own armies. I've made showcase videos for all of mine. So you can go ahead and check out that playlist. I think it's just like OMS Army Showcase. But I collect Tau. I used to collect Grey Knights. And I got Chaos Space Marines and Space Marines.
And you played Blood Angels.
Right.
Or do you still have Blood Angels?
Well, I've got, because like the Space Marine army I use is like a fan one that I created. But it's based off of the core book and the core rules of the Blood Angels.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. I didn't know. Yeah, I only have Orcs, Skitarii, and Imperial Fists, but I only play Skitarii and Orcs. The Imperial Fists are kind of just there because they look nice. They're the old Marines. They're not like the new Primaris stuff. I started an Inquisitor army, and that was supposed to have Primaris in it. I also have some Adeptus Custodes, but I'm probably never going to play that stuff either. I'm probably just going to paint it and yeah. I think I've always wanted to do a really cool high quality battle report where there's a lot of editing and a lot of what are those things where like commentary and stuff like that from us, like post, which we might do later on. But yeah, that's just something that requires a lot of work and is not going to get that many views, unfortunately.
If you do want to see something very narrative and like battle reporty, what was it called? Do you remember?
I think it's just like a OMS narrative battle report, maybe. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, the Kill Team one.
Yeah. So yeah, we try to do like something, not just a normal traditional battle report, but like an actual narrative battle report. And It was good. Like it was fun making it, but at the same time, I think it only got like 1,000 views.
Yeah, so we do have that in a playlist of OMS battle reports, so check that out.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, I lose most of the time. And by most of the time, it's all the time.
Not anymore, though.
We'll see about that. Oh, and then we've also started playing Age of Sigmar.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Currently, I've got in, I forgot what they're called. The Night Haunts. That's the army I started with.
I got Blades of Corn. I have 2 boxes of Beastmen. And then I have some, what are they called? The Stormcast people.
Stormcast Eternals. Let us know what you guys have. It'd be interesting to see if Space Marines really are as popular as it seems that they are.
Yeah. Next question comes from IDK. Do you think aliens from Alien vs. Predator would be a big threat in the galaxy?
Probably not, because they're like very similar to Tyranids, because there are some Tyranids that have like acid blood, but like there's way more Tyranids than there are aliens.
Yeah, and I don't think they don't have a hive mind, right?
They have a queen, but it's not like a hive mind.
Yeah, so there's that too. I think the hive mind is more powerful than whatever the aliens have.
Yeah.
Just regular communication.
Primitive.
Losers.
This one's by Tropical Heat. What would you do if Bridget B became a demon of corn or Zeech?
That'd be interesting. I think Zeech would be a little gross because
Because then she'd have like avian features and a little bit of like fish features too.
I don't think that's a bad thing. Top half fish,
bottom half crow.
Yeah. I would enjoy it.
It'd be interesting. I'm surprised you didn't go with the one that stands out and like the Slaanesh.
Yeah. There is, I think they're called Creature Cast. It's a third party that creates. You got your demons, right?
Yeah.
They have a really cool Zeech demon who's a chick, and
Slaanesh, you mean?
No, I thought it was a chick because like she has like feathers and she's very.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And I would imagine like that, but a little more voluptuous because Bridget B is not thin.
Do implants also get mutated in the warp?
Maybe they become like ever changing. Like one day she wakes up and she's like bigger than she was the other day, and sometimes it's lopsided. I don't know.
Interesting.
Comment down below. What do you guys prefer? Lopsided or not lopsided? Next question.
This one's by Simon Chirps. Like a cricket, I hope. When I want a short OMS video, they post a long video. And when I want a long OMS video, they post short videos. Which Chaos God is responsible for this?
I think that'd be Zeech.
Probably, yeah, because he's always changing it up.
Yeah, it's tough though to like. I think now we've been a little bit more consistent. We go from like 10 to 15 minutes, whereas like last year, what we were doing is compilation videos, so it would be like an hour long, but it was like an hour long of crap. Because it was like the old school us, not the new school like Primaris OMS. Yeah, but we're a little more consistent now. Yeah. So expect between 10 to 15 minute long videos. Yeah.
Which that seems to be like a good amount. Especially when I try and watch YouTube videos, it's like, ooh, it's an hour long. I don't have time for that right now.
Exactly.
And then I put it in my queue and it never gets watched.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time when I actually just like watched a full terrain videos. I've been watching a lot of terrain videos. That stuff is that stuff I can just watch for a while. This next question comes from IDK again. What is the easiest way to kill a Space Marine if you are a basic human?
Pray to chaos. I mean, it's not to say that like a human can't kill an Astarte. It's just very, 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 very difficult. Because like a well-placed shot can like maybe go through like the armor somewhere, or a chink in the armor, or the eye socket or something.
Yeah, but the odds are stacked against you. Yeah, I think a well-timed shot.
But even then, like the chances are that,
of actually hitting, like let's say you hit them in the heart. They got 2.
Right.
So good luck with that.
Yeah, and it also depends what weapon you've got. Like sometimes it won't be strong enough to penetrate like their bones or their skin and muscles.
Their armor.
Yeah, because Primaris, their muscles are essentially steel.
Yeah. Next question.
This one is by Ledhus WS. I don't know if it's just me, but has anybody else realized that the Eldar have been calling us humans monkeys? Monkey? Monkeys? Yep, you are 100% right. The Eldar are essentially the Friezas of the universe, since Frieza calls the Saiyans the monkeys. And yes, it is meant to be a derogatory term, such as the Eldar are so graceful and above us that we are mere primitive in their eyes.
Yeah, the Eldar lore is actually really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
They supposedly move, like if we would see a Eldar in combat, it would be like hard for us to
Decipher what's going on.
Yeah, kind of like a Primarch. Also, it's interesting because they were created by the old ones, and it is rumored that the genetic makeup of the Eldar comes from slugs, whereas we came from monkeys. Well, apes maybe. Simians.
Primates.
Yeah, they came from slugs. I guess we all came from slugs, right? If you look at it.
I mean, yeah, we all gotta come from somewhere.
Next question.
This one is by the Clone Lieutenant. If you were a rogue trader, what would be your dream team made of? And would you consider having splinters of the Adeptus Sororita and Space Marines within your group? What's like a good size crew for a rogue trader? Well, not crew, but like main squad, like, four dudes.
Mm-hmm.
So if you had to travel with 4 dudes or dudettes,
that's easy for me. I would choose Chikara Weaponsmith because they have digital weapons. I would get a Blink because they nullify the warp and they can do cool things. And then I would need like a big bruiser, so I'd do a Death Watch, a Stardy. And then my last one. What am I, a rogue trader, right?
Mm-hmm.
Come back to me. Let me think about that last one.
You actually got some really cool ones that I think are like essential for a rogue trader. Because I didn't even think about blanks or Jokeros.
Yeah.
And like you really do need that. Like the Jokero would be great with technology in case anything goes wrong. The blank, like you said, to protect you.
Yeah.
The muscle Space Marine is great for that. Yeah. I don't want to say the same thing, but I kind of have to go with the Jokero and a blank. Like I feel like those are like you have to have in your team.
Yeah.
So the other 2 spots I would fill with an air-cast Tau. Is it air or is it water? Whatever the diplomats are, I think that is water.
Yeah.
Yeah, because air-cast are pilots.
Mm-hmm.
So it would have to be in a water-cast Tau for diplomacy, and I need somebody like to fight and be like you said, like the bruiser, the weapon expert. And I guess since I'm already with the Tau, let's pick up a Kroot.
That would be cool.
Because they're good at like hunting and stuff like that. I don't really have any like beefy dudes on my team, but I think it's more. I'm more of a not gonna fight. I'm gonna be more diplomatic in my ways.
Yeah, I like that. I think for the last guy, because I was trying to think of what would be a good pilot. But I mean, if you're a rogue trader, you should be the pilot in that scenario. So I would probably just do something from the Adeptus Ministorum. So have like a what are they called? Like the priests, but they're like the aggressive priests.
Yeah,
basically like the guys from Game of Thrones that would walk around and beat people with clubs.
Mm-hmm.
What are they called? Not arbitrators. Comment down below if you guys know what I'm talking about. There's a specific type of priest.
They're not like the flagell or flagellates.
It's in the same like a drill abbot. I think that's what it's called. A drill abbot. Yeah. So one of those guys.
So like he could drill you into shape.
Oh yeah. He'll drill me. Never mind. Next question. This will be the last question. I got one from Lorenzo Cool. How strong are Quarks? They are as strong as a normal blood axe orc. Yep. So it depends on how aggressive they are and how good they are at their martial skills. There's a huge misconception. I think that most people think that the Quark are a separate species. They are not. They are orcs with the mentality of a Blood Axe clan member. And if you don't know what the Blood Axe is, I think we have a 40 facts on the Blood Axe clan.
I believe so.
Or Storm Boys. Check out the 40 facts on the Storm Boys. That's a newer video, so it's more of like a Primaris OMS like we were talking about. But yeah.
How much can an orc bench normally? Like a regular orc?
Like a simple like boy?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They probably do like 5 plates. Without like...
And the bar, obviously.
Yeah, so like just... Because they're top heavy.
Right.
And their arms are huge, so... Would that be... Yeah. That's what I'm assuming.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's it, guys. Those were the questions for today.
We will talk to you tomorrow.
As always, keep questioning us with question before your question. Because there was some in there that didn't have question there, so just letting you guys know.
Yeah.
This is the Sound Alchemist.
First one.
And we are out.
Always used to put my freedom first in any situation.